prezentācijas tas fails kaut kur ir to? Skybill kur?
Nu, tur, kur visi tie new folder structures.
Why couldn't you join? Where is the mirror on YouTube?
Okay.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Excellent. Sorry, a bit late. Had a long meeting before. Okay. Let me share. Kā tu normāls skriens izskatās?
Slaid rādās.
Okay, can we do quick intro so we can switch to the real software and then go through the billing process and then all the setup and hopefully answer your questions. Can we start?
Yes, we can.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
nice.
go ahead.
Yeah, we are three of us here today. It's me, Maris, and then my colleague Ernest, and also consultant Carlos, who will be showing solution. And then if you have any questions, Carlos and Ernest will be glad to answer. I will do very quick intro about the company, as I received also from you questions who we are and what we have done before. So we're company name is Skybill. We have another company which is also named Navex from Navision Experts. So those are two companies. So both belong to us and both are working with the same product. But Skybill is specialized especially on utility billing. Utility billing is one of our verticals actually. We just have passed certification from ISO, both 9001, which is a quality certificate, and also for 27000, which is specialized certificate for IT, data security IT, and in our case also utility management, utility billing. We have clients nearly all over the world. Here is a map. We have our presence. Don't go deeper. It will take too much time actually at the moment. I have sent already a couple of our clients we have in an email before. So in the Skybill services, what we're actually offering, there's also included microcredit solutions. We have also credit solutions, and we have also debt recovery solution, which is a bit different than utility billing, as it's specialized for loan management companies or credit companies. And we have also, of course, BI included, and we're making .NET developments, different kind of websites. I don't know what even explain more. This all will be explained actually in our presentation. We'll show real software. As the main thing is that this solution is made on Microsoft platform. It means Microsoft Dynamics and AV, or now it's called Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central, what is it as a base of our solution. So far, what we know from the exhibitions that we haven't find best price for performance for money or whatever we call it. There are actually it's kind of graph all the options included in our solution. Depends how deep we go in each of them, but everything web portals, cash flow, integration with banks, BI, self-service portals, etc. It's all is included already in our solution. That can be configured and set up in different various ways. This is kind of, for example, it was just a screenshot from our customer portal where they can see the bills online. I can see even the consumption per last 15 minutes or last half an hour, depends on what smart meter or dumb meter they're using. They can pay their bills online and communicate with this utility service provider, etc. It's all set. So there are a couple of role center screenshots. You will see them after a couple of minutes. As for each of the user of the system, it's possible to set up their own role center. It means it will be dedicated just for them with icons and information just for the particular role, whether it's client manager or CEO or whatever.
Excuse me. Can
So
someone mute Telnet? There's a lot of echo coming out.
there is some.
Telnet BD.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Also, rating and tariff management. Of course, what is available. Without that, we cannot do a billing setup. Of course, we have also contract management with all the quotes and prepaid and postpaid options, different billing cycles, and then contract-specific pricing. It means that you can set up price for manually for each contract individually. There are a couple of layouts of templates of bills. They are usually made for each client on specific, particularly for them on demand, and we can send out them by email, by portal, by SMS, whatever the carrier is actually. We have also market interaction. It means that it's possible for clients to sign up in a web or whatever, or in a couple of countries we need to require customer or client or tenant, however we call it, from some register, and then we transfer from one utility company to another utility company with all the history and current debt and or whatever is the status or balance. There's also option to integrate with business intelligence, so use different tools. Actually, there are a couple of inbuilt in the system. It's also possible to use something outside, like we can use Microsoft BI or some other tools. It depends from a client and then budget. So this is in a couple of words actually all about us. So I can give this presentation to Carlos, and he can show it how the system looks like. So you can look at it and if you have any questions and something, please ask. And I'm also recording this, and after our conversation and webinar, you will be able to get linked to this record and then look it all over again if you have missed something on the way. Okay, Carlos, it's yours.
Emeka, please. Yes. You're probably sitting next to someone who's. Can you mute yourself?
Can you take the screen?
No, you have to stop sharing first.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Emeka.
Miss the button.
So, can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay, so probably everyone else also can.
Should be so.
So this is the solution. So it's as already Mars mentioned, it's a full ERP with a billing solution inside. So
yeah, it's one more important thing, that this billing solution cannot be sold differently or separately from the CRP. It comes together. It's possible to integrate with other EP systems, but anyway, as a starting pack, it's needed. Whatever.
Yes. So
Okay.
it comes in one piece as Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. If just to look at all the possibilities that are in the system, here we can see all the things that are available, starting with financial management, our billing module, sales and marketing. Here we can see all the payables, all the reports, historical data, receivables, cash management, such as all the bank accounts, cash receipt journals. Everything is included in our solution, so you don't have to integrate with the accounting solution or with the CRM solution. So that's what I wanted to add. But if you look at the role center, so the role center is fully customizable and it is adjusted to a specific user. So in this case, we can see there is a customer service agent. There can be a role center for CFO, for customer relation agent or representative. So everyone will have their own actions, have their own navigation tools and lists, and also this action ribbon will be different depending on what they are doing on a day-to-day basis. So the role center can be set up that far that the user shouldn't leave it during the day. So all the necessary things can be accessed from the role center and home, not from the role center itself, but from the home screen, like a dashboard. So yeah, in your case, there will be pro customer agents, then the readers, if they are walking around, maintenance role center, and so on. Every user can have their own role center. If you move further, talking about you don't have to go out from the home screen. The first big thing is the customer management. So we can see all our customers that are in the system with all the balances. We can look at the balance on a specific date. We can see the sales without tax and other uh, interesting things. Same, we could go into the balance and see all the historical data. Sorry. All the historical data that customer has. In this case, we can see that this customer has in invoices, outstanding invoices, so with the due date. There are no payments yet done for this customer. That's why they're all over due date, and they show us an outstanding balance. So if I look at the customer card, we can see that it's pretty straightforward. There is general information about the customer, which includes the balance that I just mentioned. There can be hidden fields as well if it's not needed to show them. You can change the importance of the fields, whether they should show, or you can just hide those fields. Everything in every page, actually, you can customize the page, and you can customize the specific fields, give them importance, whether it's promoted, standard, or additional field. Same in every list or table, you'll be able to choose your columns. So that is everything is user based. So every user can customize the look and everything to the system the way they are willing to work. So it's not that is made one way and you have to work the way. So everything is flexible in here. Here, the next tab, we can see it's address and contact. So all the contact information that is with the customer. Then we see all the information, invoicing information, such as a general business posting group, where you can see in which accounts the customers will be posted, because you can have different groups. Then there is a VAT or tax posting group and the customer posting group. So the customers can be grouped, but this is all for financial part. So also here we can show only the fields that we need to, that we want to see. And then the next part is the payment section. We have payment terms, payment method. You can create the variable reminder terms, various reminder terms such as finance charge terms, and then they are applied to the outstanding balances, sending out reminders in levels 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and so on. And then there is shipping. It's not that's mostly for B2C customers when the headquarters are located somewhere else. Then yeah, every page have the ribbon of actions, and you can just walk through there. So here you also can access the ledger entries, see some statistics of the customer, add comments, choose variable document layouts, and there are also reports. Like you can look at all the balance date for this specific customer, or you can look at for if you remove any filtering, you can look at it for all the customers. So any kind of reports can be generated within the system. We can see that every customer has around 3 invoices outstanding on 31st of April. And yes, well, this is just a little small piece of what reporting can be done out of the system. Not to mention that you can use dimensions and slice and dice all the reports depending from the dimensions, and see how the costs go out, where they come in. Income comes by the cost centers, by the departments, by regions, by, as I mentioned, customer groups, and so on. So creation of the customer. The next part, the big part, is the core part, which also is related to the billing. So it's a utility contract. We can see that it's a the contract has a header and it has lines. So this header is responsible for the customer, whether I mean, it links the customer to a contract. It adds the supply address, all the meters that are installed in the specific address, and the meter readings are also registered and can be found from the contract.
On my system, yeah.
So from there, it can all be just generated depending from the contract number. And also we can look up for the customer from this contract list. We can go to the meter reads. We can check the calculation if it's correct or not, just for pre-billing. So here we can see the header with some conditions, like whether it's signed, whether it's a contract, or it's just a quote, because you can send out quotes if it's necessarily needed. Then we have a supply start date, which is a mandatory field, because you cannot start to bill customer if you don't have a supply start date. There can be a contract length if it's needed. If you use the terminated contracts, then you can use these fields, but now it's not that necessarily. So normally all these lines which will be in the contract lines will appear on your bill. Only if there is some specific calculation that it's a formula or some other, like indexation and everything, then you can have more lines in the contract lines, but they won't appear on the invoice. But 90% of the cases, both of the lines would appear on the on the bill. So we here can see that there is an electricity charge, and then there you can see the period start for which it is billed, period end for which it is when the customer will be billed, and then we can see the previous reading, current reading, which all comes from the readings. Here in the readings, we can see that you can see all the history of the readings that has been in the apartment, and also from there the system can create the estimations in case the customer haven't gave you the readings or there was some unavailability to access the site. So you can just estimate the readings, and it will interpolate depending from the previous readings that are in the system. All the other information, what you need to know about the contracts is that there is a general tarification module where you can set up a specific rates for a specific tariff, but you can also define the rates individually. So if there is a specific customer that needs to have an individual rate because of some agreement or something else, then you can also apply these individual tariffs for each customer. Yes. Then the next part is where for the automation of the system, you can choose the billing cycle, how long it will be, also the day and at what time the system should start fetching the readings from the smart metering system and do the bill calculation. So what I mentioned already is this tariff code, where you can have multiple tariffs. In electricity case, it could be a dynamic tariff, like a fixed tariff, standard tariff, or some high usage tariff, and so on. So you can create multiple tariffs, so you don't have to recreate something in the system that you have done thousands of times or hundreds of times. So you can just choose it from the list and it generates the lines automatically. So for example, I can show you an example of that. So if I choose the 1st of April here as a starting date, because the system will generate lines depending from that. So I have deleted those lines. I delete tariff code. The tariff is set up that it will create lines for 2 meters for every meter point that is in the system, and it matches the meter point type. So in this case, we can see that if I choose the tariff code electricity, in my case, because I have a multi-utility company, I offer everything, disposal electricity, gas in general. But in this case, for this customer, I'm going to choose electricity, and you can see the system generated 2 lines. So and for this meter already there was a customer ending reading and the new reading. So the customer moves in, and all the readings are there, and I can just check the readings before the billing, whether they will be whether everything is correct with this contract and will it run for the billing. So I can just press calculate. If you look at these fields, the system calculates that the previous reading is 100, current reading is 2000, and there is the total consumption. So yeah, that's how everything that's how everything happens quickly. Just a second. Yeah, sorry, something with my neck. So if you look forward, as I already showed you, there is the meter points that are that you can already see, which you can cut in deeper. We can see the card. There can be the coordinates of the meter located. Some fields that if you want to show them on the line, some variable fields from where you can take the calculations, and any field that would be there that is not in our system, if there is such. Normally everything's there so far for our customers. but it's as I showed you previously, it's very easily to add any field as it is easy for customers or end users to do it. It is also easy from our side to do it. So it means any customization wouldn't be much of an expense. So so here we can see the meter points that are connected to the contracts. And if we go further, we can see all the meter points, meters that are connected to the meter. So there can be multiple meters, an electricity meter for like a general meter, then there is a meter for dishwasher, a meter for a pool pump, and then you can see them individually. That's an example. I'm not sure how it will be set up in this scenario. So every meter has a card with also a lot of fields, such as number of digits so for the rollover. So the system recognizes if the meter rolls over. Then there are a lot of also a meter point won't probably have the same coordinates as the meter, because meter can be somewhere in the basement or anywhere else near the house. So yes, additional fields that should fulfill all the necessary needs. But yes, as I already mentioned, you can just go into this page, for example, take the core data and make all these fields not number, like these fields. Like these fields, I will make additional. Yes. Meter treatment. So if I press OK, the system reopens the screen, and now it will open the page just like this. Just now I have the fields that I want to use on a daily basis. I don't want the other fields mess my mind, so I just leave the ones that I want to see. And when I open the meter card, it will be opened like this. So if if there's something that I want to add, a field that I wouldn't do on a daily basis, but maybe once a year, then I can just show more fields, and I can add that necessarily field and change it. And you can do it for every fast step that is there. The next part is the meter reading. This table you already saw. So here is the meter readings for this specific meter and meter point. But if I remove this filter, we happen to be in the meter readings table. That is all for all the customers, for all the units that are there in the system. Yeah, you can easily enter the readings manually as well without smart metering or imports from the handheld devices or other formats such as CSV, XML, and so on. The next thing is meter changelog. You can install meter, you can remove meter, you can change meter, and then you can see the change log. So the log will show you old meter values. The log will guarantee you that you won't lose the consumption if the meter was changed in the middle of the period, and then you charge the customer for the new meter. The system would recognize and find the old meter and also charge for that consumption that was consumed before the meter change. Yes, so that's about the contract and meter points and meter cards. You can also have the meter point list and supply list. You can look at it in separate field. We can look at the readings for the specific period, which we can just have a date filter and look for another date. For example, on 19th, if you look at these numbers, how they would change. 19th, 0201, for example. Okay, it's all empty. So 28 Yes, so here you can see that there are some readings on a specific date. So if we choose from the 1st of the 1903 or 31, then we can see that the start reading is one, end reading is another, and then we have a consumption for the readings. Also, you can have a space for supply addresses, but it's normally used for water heating and heating, so I'm not sure if it's used in electricity market. So the next thing is we have a meter data management. So the meter devices, you can look up all your meter devices with serial numbers, with the installation dates, whether they are in the building or they are in your warehouse. You can also see here the meter readings from the system that are there, and add the new meter. But if you have if for example you purchase hundreds of meters, you don't have to enter them here individually. You can just import them through the import packages, such as you can add new plans that way and create new contracts. But if it's one-to-one, then everything can be done manually, one by one, by someone in your company. So yes, the next big part I would like to show you is the tariff administration, which is actually a core core of the solution, because without tariffication you cannot create anything. No bills would be generated. We can see that I have multiple utility tariffs, because I can charge customers for electricity, for water, sewer, multi-utility, and all those things together. So here you can see that my electricity tariff rates are set up, that I have an electricity charge, which would be 26 cents per kilowatt hour, and a standing charge, which is €1 or US dollar per day. So that's how it's done. Normally for electricity, there's also taxes, components, and additional things that can be added. It can be up to 10 lines in an invoice. So it depends from the structure that's in your company. So it can be a variable field, and this also can be a variable field, because it will depend from the consumption, and this one will depend from the days. So this is set up, but it is set up depending from the components. And here you can see that components define whether it is a consumption of a meter or it's a fixed rate. If it's a, for example, service charge of $20 per month, it can be a table. So the system would look up for a specific table in the system for a specific field, and it would find that field, that value, and somehow work. So for a maximum usage, you could specify how much this customer can use, and if they exceed that maximum usage, then you charge them more in that case. But depends. If there is such a case, then we can look at it. So yeah, at the moment we haven't found any yet customer who cannot set up their rates with our tariff structure. So we can accompany any formula, any addition, any other condition that can be there and found depending from components. So yes, even indexation of the rates and the consumption. That's about the tariff components. And if you look at the departments and look at under utility management, so this is where we set up all the necessary information for the meter data management. So all the meter connections, head-end gateways, where we connect to the gateways of the meters, and we communicate directly with the meters to receive data, to shut them down, to take the readings on a specific time and day. Um, we can there can be different reading formats. It can be text file, it can be JSON, and any other. What we would do, we would just map them in the system, depending from some the file that we would receive. So, for example, here you can see that there is some XML file that we receive. We choose which fields would go into which part. So line file field mapping. So for example, this one go, well, yeah, just a mapping of the data. What I wanted to show you is that it is made so that any user could set it up themselves, so they don't have to have a developer to hard code something and then you have to work with it. If it changes, you have to take a developer again and change everything again. So everything can be set up by a user, which is very convenient, and any changes can be adjusted and made by the user. So the head and integration, which I mentioned, is just for smart metering. You can connect to a specific API URL, which would be provided, where the meters are stored in a gateway. And then from there we can connect to the meter, download some information like readings, or there can be multiple registers in the meter. If it's a prepaid meter, then it doesn't matter actually if it's prepaid or postpaid. Both ways we receive a meter reading in the system. It only depends whether the customer has to have a balance in the system, or they can have no balance and they only pay after they have received the bill. So this is where the information for all the meters are populated. It goes directly in the communication queue. If it's smart metering, then it works with the data exchange definitions in the meter data buffer, and then at the end it returns everything to the meter readings. So, and also everything, as I mentioned before, can be scheduled in job queues, such as the meter downloading can be scheduled. For example, if it's a prepaid, then you would want to have readings every day, or at least every day. It can be every 15 minutes, 10 minutes, depending from the meter how smart it is, whether it can provide that data or it cannot. Yes, and then about the billing, then we have 3 big steps that we have to do with all the validations and everything. So if it's not fully automated yet and someone has to do it manually, then someone has to calculate the contracts. So if I choose any filtering, then the system will just take that specific customer or contract that is there. If I will use any filtering, then the system will just generate for the one customer. So the data in the system are not that clean. So I will show you what happens if I do not use filters and it goes through all the customers. So here we can see it goes well. Successfully processed services, all of them, sorry. So here we can see that all the services that are in the system were calculated successfully. And here we can see all the rates that are there. I have a tiered tiered rates for most of the customers here because it's water and sewer. But as we're looking at an electricity example, that's why I will run it only for a specific customer for just this contract. which we looked at before, and there's only two services for the contract, as I mentioned, electricity charge and a standing charge. So here you can see the unit price times times consumption is an amount, and the unit price times consumption per day is also an amount. Together, it will be an amount that will appear on the invoice. So this is the first journal where we can do validation. We can see if the rates are correct, if the system generates everything correctly, and if everything's all right, we can just post it. So we post the journal, and we can generate the bills now. So we generate the invoices with the posting date of the last day of what it was there. And also I want to choose the customer. This is the customer. I can also choose the contract if I want to. Number. Yes. So for example, the same contract, and I press OK. The system goes through only one customer, ledger entries, and it found some information, and it could generate the invoice. I could choose to post the invoice directly, but I didn't, because that's also one step for the validation. If you look at the utility invoices, we can see that I have created the bill for this customer, and we can validate the amounts. For example, we see that this customer has two lines that I mentioned before with those amounts, with the total amount of this value, and there is a VAT and total amount including VAT. So in that case, for example, I understood, wow, this customer didn't need a VAT. I can delete this invoice, go back into the customer, make any adjustments, and just recreate the bill, because I don't have to delete everything or cancel some entries or create credit notes before, because I now do the validation check for the created bills. But in my case, I'm fine with the VAT. I will just post it now just to show you how it looks. So if I go to post documents, here I can see this is the bill that I just created. And if we look at the printing, okay, it's a bad layout. So report selection, we can search for anything that is in the system in here. You just have to know what to search for. I want to choose a different layout, because this is not that I wanted to be there. So if you can specify multiple layouts there. Any customer can have their own layout actually, or the groups, or there can be a layout for direct debit customers, layout for bank customers, and so on. So here we can see that this is our layout. It can be white labeled, it can be made the same way as you want it to be. In this case, you can see this is a company logo, billing address for the customer, some company information here from the company, then also customer like information that is in the system, and then starts the information about the bill. Here we can see there is a unit amount, VAT. Then there is a balance carried forward from previous period. So this customer has an outstanding balance of $91. So it's added to the total this invoice amount, and it is a total outstanding balance. Yes, so we have like few of these examples. So it can be just created the way you want it to be, and added. For example, maybe I can find another one just to see how it is. So maybe this one will print smoothly. Yeah, for example, this one is also pretty nice. So you can see the current usage. You can see the electricity amount due. and some information that is there. So it all depends from your needs, what you wanna see on the bill. And so the same way goes with the body, what you wanna add in the email that you send to the customers, and what you wanna what kind of text you want to add. We can send out invoices individually, we can send them out in a batch, we can print them out in a batch, we can use default settings, and settings are set up in every customer card. Yes, the system has been maintain progressive average consumption. Yes, so uh, as I already mentioned in the start, when the customers did not give you the readings, there is an update meter reading estimate where you can estimate for a specific date, for a specific customer, or for all the customers that are in the system. So yes, the system, the solution, as I mentioned, provide the balance forward, whether it's debit or credit, it doesn't matter for the system. Yes. So I'm just looking at some of the needs that are there in the list. Well, yes. If when the bill is posted, what would you normally do? You would receive a payment in a bank, or you would send it to the bank to receive direct debit payment, and then you would apply it to the bill. So in this case, we can look in the cash received journal. You can see that there is all this information that needs to be filled. For example, on 15th May, the customer just paid the payment, and the customer is the same customer as was there. It's Carlos, me, and there are two ways. So one way is just you import a bank payment, a standard bank payment. There can be created bank gateway that all the payments happen automatically in the bank. I mean, in the system if it's posted in the bank. And the other way is that you know that the customer paid the same amount as the invoice, and you just want to apply it directly to the bill that's outstanding. So this is the bill that I just created. I just press OK. The system finds the amount. It finds that it is in an invoice that was applied to, and now I can post this payment. I can create millions or multiple payments and just post them all together, or in this case I just post this one payment. Sorry, contract number must be there for the customer portal, so we just post the payment and journal lines were posted. So if we go back to the customer's information, which is there. So we have to find my customer. You can find it in various ways. So we can look in this list by number. We can choose the name. We can use these filters. There can be 5 or 10,000 or 100 different values or options by which we look at, which we try to find them, or we can just search a part of the name. It will find all the customers that have this, or we can just write full name. We can use stars if we know that something continues after the name but we don't know what it is, and so on. So here we can see two customers. I know which one is the real one. So you can see the sales in this month or so far have been this big, but the outstanding balance is only 91 USD. If you open the balance, we can see that there is just 3 outstanding bills. But if we remove the filter, or we would go into the general ledger entries, we would see that there was a bill and an invoice. And now they are closed. if I understand that there's something wrong with the payment or with the bill, I can always unapply entries and apply the entries again. I can reverse the transaction if it's a payment done by a journal. And we can also go through and navigate and see all the entries, all the ledgers that they are posted in. So every bill goes into a post sales invoice, general ledger entry, VAT entry or tax entry, customer ledger entry, detailed customer ledger entry, and resource ledger entry. So everything is tied up, and now the customer has a history which will be always be possible to find in the system. So yes, then I want to show you the customer portal, I guess. Then we can move forward to some financial parts. Different forms of payments must be accepted. Cash, checks, credits, that's no problem. Advanced payment and customer account should be treated as balance account, no problem. Propagate relevant fan meters, update meter balance. Okay, yeah. Connection orders. So then I want to show you the portal where the customer can look at their accounts. If they have multiple contracts, they can choose which contract they want to see at the moment. So in this case, we can see that this customer has the latest invoices that they have. I logged in with a different account, so it's a little bit different information that we saw. So every customer can use pay button. You can pay, but you have to have, of course, agreement with the third party payment, like First Data, or it can be also tied up with PayPal if you are feeling like using it. So any credit card payments that are what you're willing, or the bank integration, as I mentioned before. So there are messages. If I send a message, for example, yes, this is meter is broken. For example, hello, my meter is broken, and I press OK. So this message was sent, and I see that there is an outgoing invoice message. Sorry. If I go to the portal back to my backend where I would work, I can see that there is an inbound message from this customer, and I can always send back the message. That would be an outbound message to the same customer. Copy and for example, meter is broken. For example, we will arrive on Monday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Please let me know. Okay, so start from date, it's fine. So we just press OK. We know that there is a new message, but this customer won't have this message at the start because it's we have to log out and log in back. And now we can see, wow, we have a new message. So if the customer wouldn't be online, he would see the new message there. And I can just communicate with the customer within the system, and the customer, it's very easy for customer to work. So the customer can go to message or click on that side, and he can see the message and reply to it and say, yeah, that's fine, just please fix it as soon as possible. So yes, now here we can see all the outstanding invoices, all the reading history with all the readings that are there. They are quite small because it was for water, now it's for electricity. And no submit reading parts. So here the customer can change their password. They can see the information that they have in the system. So they can change their email or phone number in case they change it. The payment terms, I'm not sure. I think I haven't uploaded them yet. But yeah, you can upload the PDF form of payment terms, privacy policy, and FAQs, and your customers can just see them. So yeah, it's now not new anymore. Yeah, so here you can see it's outbound and inbound. And that's about the portal. So portal can also be adjusted. Your company information will be here, your background picture if you have something specific, and so. So that's about the customer portal with the payments, with all the integrations. Outcomes, the management, summaries, customer, yeah, calls and management, online measures. Okay, I guess if there's something you wanna ask me, the questions. It's time for questions now. I think from my agenda.
Okay. Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Fisal speaking. Can you expatiate a little on your GIS solution so that we'll see how integration can be done into it?
Can we do what?
Your geographical information system part of the solution.
Yes. Like
Can you show us a little on it and how integration can be done into it? Like, let's say there's another third-party GIS system that we need to integrate with it.
Hello. Yes, this is Ernest speaking. Yes, of course we can do that. So we have as a part of the supply address and meters, we have coordinates, and we can supply it via web services to the third-party GIS system. So we can map it on a third party, like we have it here, which is a Bing map in this case, but we can use any other plugin which will
yes.
map.
I think for this one, all you just gotten was longitude and latitude of all those meters or what? Or how did you load it with your data? That's what we just want to know.
How to load the master data to the system?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can do it via external files. So it can be CSV or Excel.
Oh, maybe do you mean how the coordinates happen?
Yes, that's what I really want to know.
Yeah, so all we need to know is the address, and the system generates the coordinates by the address. So it knows everything in the
Or alternative, you can just directly specify the coordinates,
Yes.
latitude and longitude.
What if there is a third-party system whereby the customer already has the geographical information of all his locations, his customers, and everything?
So good. Then we need to know what is the key to link these two data sets. So it might be, let's say, supply address code, which in this case you can see, which is a specific number, GR0 something.
4, yeah.
And
So
and you have to have this some mapping.
Okay.
With two informations, we can link it together, and then.
There is no
Okay,
issue.
something I'm just looking at is that is there not any API endpoint that can be called from such GIS system so that we can transmit the data to this system automatically?
Yes, sure.
What are the
So maybe
parameters of
Carlos,
that?
you can type in web services, Carlos.
Yes.
Let's see the API.
So we can see all the endpoints here. I mean, we can publish like for example supply address. You had it there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's
Yeah.
supply, for example, supply address meters.
Okay.
And this is an endpoint on where you have this HTTPS address.
Well, it's like this is a SOAP service from what I'm seeing.
So we can expose this endpoint, and these we can push and pull information to this endpoint.
I understand. I said what I'm seeing is a SOAP. It's not a REST API.
Yeah, it is a REST API.
Sorry, because under SOAP is not applicable. All data.
All data is a REST API.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah.
I need to see the parameter to pass with. Can you help me to expand?
Well, it's configurable actually. We have all the fields that you have on this. Well, this is a query.
Yeah. This is a query though.
Yeah, this is a query that we can fetch information. Yes.
But we need to push.
Well, it's possible also. Then it would be a page instead of so it's easy configurable. So this one is a page where you can push information. So this is like customer supply addresses, and then you can insert, modify existing records. You just we can send you later the specification of the API, how to work with it. It's quite simple. So there are certain methods like insert, modify, which you can apply and modify existing or insert new. Of course, you have to know just the parameters that to pass, how to pass this. Okay. So it's flexible.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, hi. This is Taiwo. Yeah, I want to ask some questions about the vending aspect of your payment system. Does it allow for super vendors? What I mean in Africa here, I don't know if the same operates over there. They can contract out the vending to a third party, and the structure they have is like they have super vendors that should be able to resell electricity on behalf of the client. So do you have a capacity to integrate their own point of sales into this system?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Then the industry STS standard. What standard exactly are you?
STS. We cooperate with partners that provide this vending. So we, according to STS standards that generate. You mean generation of prepaid tokens? Do you mean that?
Yes.
Yes, so we have couple of partners, company. So basically we can provide end-to-end solution. Anyway, so it's not in this demo that we can show.
No. As in, we're going to an what I mean is we're going to an environment that is already established. They already have their own vendors with their own system, and they need it to be integrated into
Okay.
So that can be done.
That can be done, yes, but that would be just integration issue.
Yeah.
We wouldn't care about this certificate.
Okay, and does it do offline vending to all meters offline in case there is a communication failure?
Sorry, does it what?
In case of communication failure, that's to both the main data center and the DR. Can it still permit for vending to all meter types when it's offline?
Can we? And the last question I did, it was like, so when it's offline, you mean what can we do? What you should do when the vending?
Yes.
So what you would do then if it's offline? Can you repeat it, please?
I mean,
yeah. Okay. Now, if for for instance, if the data center, main data center goes down,
Yeah,
the DR
okay.
site is also
Yeah,
down for
okay,
communication
okay.
issues.
Yeah.
Can vending still be done maybe on an offline mode?
Oh.
Then when it comes up, it syncs back into the system automatically and not like work stops because it's not working.
I see what you mean. Well, but there is some replication engine.
It could be that it then posts all those vendings when the system gets up, because
Yes.
when the vending is done, it will store that information somewhere, but it couldn't proceed direct then to your date, like your data center will be down.
But that might be that again, it's an integrate. I would say that that's an integration issue. So it has to be configured according to the requirements. So we can do that. But if you say that there is an established infrastructure, then we anyway would need to adapt to it. So, so we would do that.
Okay. So integration, but your system can accept such in terms of customization.
Yeah, sure.
So it's just saying.
Yes,
okay, fine.
That would be.
Okay, then in terms of payment reversals, in terms of issuing vending tokens, you did mention it could do that. Then free electricity tokens also.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. In terms of tracking activities, it's going to be more than in handling shifts. Staffs come in, they do their own bits, they leave. Can it track activities that's been done by a particular staff?
Yes.
As in, yes?
Yes, there is a change log entries.
Okay.
Which you can switch in and see what has the user done, everything. Did he modify any customer, created, deleted? Everything can be tracked.
Okay.
So you can see user ID. There could be your name, for example, and there are not too many users here. Your name, and you have deleted the customer or are reading, and everyone would know that you did it. In case you want to see something.
Okay.
But if you talk regarding
then your customer. Okay. Your customer service system, how can it integrate into a third-party incident management system?
Yes, we saw your third-party incident management. I think the best way would be just to also create a separate table where we would enter it and everything, but if it's your incident management that you will provide, right? Or that's something that they already have?
Well, they already have a call center, but they want us to integrate an incident generator.
Okay. I don't see again a problem. So
there is no issue with that. Yes.
Yeah, we can. I mean, in terms of integration, there are plenty of possibilities. So we can create on the backend side, we can create some tasks, user tasks. So this is what Carlos is showing now. So we can create. Okay, if you can click on the navigate. Yes, any kind of interactions or tasks. So, and whatever we create here manually, we can actually create by API. So API from the incident, if incident management system can call an endpoint here, then we could create some tickets.
Okay. About your work order management system, can you just run through your work order management system? For instance, the example you gave, a customer complaint about meter bad. Internally, how do you dispatch the fault? How is it monitored? And how is it closed? Can you just run through that?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
Sorry, before you go in addition to that question, Fisayo again, please. Let's say there is a third-party system too that handles work orders. So how do we integrate the two of them together?
So yes, you would have these work orders, the third party again. But all would we would do, we would show that there is a pending task. So any work order would appear as a pending task for a specific user, where you would see the progress of it, for example, whether it's completed for 70% completion. Then you can see if it's completed in which date or it's not completed, and so on. That's, I think,
Well,
we would integrate with the
yeah. Also, Carlos, there is a separate module which is service management.
Oh yes, service
So basically, you could maybe just show,
orders.
yeah. Says if you go to the departments,
Yeah.
and just briefly show the sales service. No, no, sorry, service management. Service. Oh, it's
Service. Yes.
So we can employ this module for the service orders.
Yeah, but they have a third party, so we will have to just integrate it with some.
But we can integrate it here. Yes, I mean.
Oh yeah,
we
also
can create
it's possible.
every
Service orders.
request, yeah, service like a service order here, and then we have some items that could be meters, for example, which are meters under service, and then there is a dispatch board. If you go back, let's go back. There is a dispatch board, yes, that we can. If you go to the order processing, yeah, so that where we can see all the tasks by specific users, specific employees, and allocate the resources and dispatch.
Yeah. But the main idea is that it wouldn't be a problem to integrate with your third party. It's your solution, right? Hello?
The work order management, do you have it in place, or you want to have it?
Possibly our solution.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same thing applies to the incident management solution too.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else? Yeah, probably something else. Anything else we have to integrate with?
For now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to ask, energy, in terms of energy generation monitoring, energy transmission monitoring, does your system do any of that?
That's probably some other system.
No, it's
sorry.
No, it's I don't think so that we currently support that.
Okay.
We could look at it, but it's not the business scope actually. Like.
Okay. Well, then using not using smart meters now.
Yes.
As in using prepaid, majorly prepaid and not smart meters. I guess it's going to follow the same procedure. How do you intend to do your or how do you propose? Let me first start to do it prepaid. How is it done over there? So we can use that to capture what they have asked us to do and see if it's workable with their own system. I mean, that's your, is it postpaid? Not prepaid now.
Carl, we can explain how it's done in my voltage actually.
Yes.
We have both. We have both options, postpaid and prepaid. So it's for us.
And you can have both in the system as well.
Yeah,
so
at the same time, both in the systems, not a problem.
The one module is that you generate bills for customers and then they pay to you. The other module is prepaid, so they buy a token or they top up their wallet, virtual wallet, and then every day, or how do you plan to do it, we reduce the consumption of what they have done. So they spend 20 kilowatt hours a day, so they top up 500 money, and then after one day it was reduced by $20, for example, and then it's left till they exceed the specific amount, and then you go and disconnect there is this work order generated from your system. It also appears in our system, so we know that this customer will stop receiving the electricity. Someone will go and disconnect them. Then you will receive money from that customer, or he will purchase a token, which will be in the system. And then you would have a work order. So the money will come in our system. It will trigger your work order system that they have paid, and someone has to go there and reconnect the meter, right? Because it's not smart metering, you cannot do it from the distance.
With the tokens, it would stop automatically anyway.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then
So if you buy the token, then it goes like you just enter the key.
Oh, okay, we have integration with the vending machine.
Yeah, and then it stops.
Okay. Yes. So yeah.
At certain
So
point. So we
when
just
Okay.
when the token runs out, the system stops. The electricity is not provided anymore. The
but
customer has
what
to.
in case of with the tokens, we just need to post the usage and the
Yes.
money received.
We'll just post the usage every
Okay.
day until it runs down and eats off the balance from the customer card, and then it is out. Customer cannot use it anymore till he purchase another token.
Okay.
That's how
Thank
it's
you.
done, actually.
Okay, then can you run us through your ERP, your BI, part of your solution?
Oh yeah, you also have BI from your side, right?
Yes, from our side, but we would like to also have a look to integrate now into your platform, to be able to do analysis with your data. For instance, we're supposed to have one data across all these integrations.
Yes.
Yes.
Ernst, do you think, can you show
uh,
Microsoft Business Intelligence?
Not sure.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was not.
Yeah, because it was meant that you provided, we didn't even think of
okay.
showing it.
Okay. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. I mean, just to see how yours work, then we can also picture how we can do our own integration.
I will
from
try.
our own
I will
end.
try to find out. Just a second, if I have something.
I guess it also does KPI on Excel. KPI is Excel, as a function of BI.
Well, it's fully integrated with Microsoft Office as well as Power BI. So we just expose. Again, it works via web services with Power BI. So there are some pre-built. I will try because I don't have. I think I just don't have any handy demo for you, but the idea is that we can fully expose all the data to Power BI for the reporting capabilities. So virtually any like let's say it's the same mapping tool. We can have like diagram with the usage by some geographical points.
We're not seeing any. We're not seeing
Well,
any pictures right now.
yeah, unfortunately, I think I cannot show you, right?
Oh, okay.
I just don't have any demo ready. So I can do it separately, maybe. It will take time for me now to find out what I can show. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but that's
But it's very
actually
straightforward. I mean, it's yeah, you can have any
yeah,
diagrams.
it can show anything from the system. I'm not sure
So
how.
that is, yes, it's simply this is an example of the mapping. Yes, we can have this kind of usage. Let's say diagram.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
or some, I don't know, faults, meter fault statistics, whatever. In terms of this, maybe energy monitoring, that could be also the idea of using it. I know that there are solutions that are employing the Power BI.
Yeah, but as I mentioned, you already said that you will provide the BI.
Yes.
So we will be able just to provide you all the necessary information from the system out. And Microsoft also is integrated with Excel. We can send any information directly to Excel. So
Okay.
so I
Okay.
guess there shouldn't be any issues with that. Depends how your system BI is already ready and or it needs some work yet to be done.
Okay, then your ERP, okay, I guess is riding. So this is your core. Your utility payment is your core. Then ERP is riding on it, or is the other way around?
Yeah.
We do also other way around. We started with integrating ERPs actually, and then only in
Okay. So, but
2004
this is an add-on that we can take the utility payment alone and not need to take any other tool or any other module, just the utility payment.
Well, it's anyway will be, you can use it only as a utility management solution, but on the background anyway there will be ERP modules. We cannot just tear it apart. That's what we mean. So it's because it sits on top of the business logic of the ERP. And
thank you. This is Farancho speaking. I think what Taiwo is saying is like with every large deployment like this, you would have modules that you would deprecate, that you would not license. The entire suite is there, but you would have modules that you would deprecate. And if later there's any need for it, you can actually activate as
sure. But in terms of licensing, it doesn't have any impact because there are no any module pricing for the ERP, so it's only user based. So that unfortunately we cannot like downgrade anything like that. We can just hide it or yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's not our within our power, yes, to do that. That's a Microsoft licensing strategy. Model. Yes. So it's only per user license, and there is no way of saying like I want only, let's say, general ledger for now, and then I will add accounts payables, accounts receivables, etc. So that's how it is. So it always will be there. We can just configure with the rights, like access rights, who has access to which modules and which tables.
Okay.
But which ERP were you looking at? You also, I read the email and it said that you are integrating the ERP. So.
Yes, we have an ERP partner that we normally would work with, and at this stage, I think is Sage that the partner we're working with is Sage.
Yeah, we know them.
Yeah, so I don't think there will be any problem in terms of integration.
Well, yeah, that's the question.
This is Efe. May I say something, please? If the Microsoft Dynamics, I don't know which flavor it is, works natively with the billing system, I don't see why we can't go with that. We don't necessarily need to integrate to Sage because that just adds another bottleneck system.
Yeah,
you are right. Yes, actually, we had
sorry, Efe. Sorry, are you saying that? Are you saying you would prefer the ERP to be Microsoft Dynamics?
No, I will prefer something. The more complexity or integration we can go with, the better. Nothing is cast in stone. I don't want to say, oh, because we support Sage X3, then that should be used. This looks, from what I'm seeing, this looks like it's native to the application. It reduces the complexity of implementation and support. Yeah, so
you're right.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine.
Okay, so I'll talk with you after this meeting.
Yes.
Okay. Then I would also like to find out. Oh, come on. Okay, I know Maris is recording this.
Yep, you will receive record of all this.
Okay, good, because we need the recording to be able to answer the question. And then, can we have remote access to the demo when we want to answer the questions in case we need to check some things out?
Of course.
Yeah, you can.
You can register and get free access to the demo, no problem.
Okay, good. All right, thank you. I don't know if gentlemen, or ladies, if you have any other question. Fola, you have questions?
You can ask questions also later in emails. We will also answer them anyway. It's not a problem.
Okay. All right, good. So we're good with that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Sorry, yes, I have a question. Can we have like proof or evidence of similar work done in terms of your utility payment bills? I know Mario sent me 1 or 2 links, yes, but would want like an award letter or completion certificate if issued by such clients.
Preferably completion certificate.
Completion certificate.
And that should be further down the line. For now, let's just take their word. If their site's running it successfully, that should be fine.
We can arrange that. I think also with this Veolia, which is quite a huge company. And also
My voltage.
My voltage works in Africa in prepaid exactly in electricity.
Yeah, I think it's
not a problem.
Yeah, we can do it.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
Yes.
Don't have any more questions?
Thank you, everybody. If I'll give you a call on the phone now.
Okay, please. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Okay, bye.